itch.io is a website specifically dedicated to indie developers so that they could post their games and not face the harsh competition of AAA companies. It's specifically very well known for their horror game selection. So today, I picked out 3 horror games from itch.io and I'll be playing and reviewing each. Without further ado, let's get right into it. A Mall Near You is an adventure game where you play as a girl that is dropped off at a soon-to-be abandoned mall to return some of mother's unwanted items. This game has a cartoon art style where all the characters are drawn by hand and have a Paper Mario-like effect. Even the UI is made to look childish and colorful. That is the most unique part of this game. The art style lulls you into a false sense of security even in this gray and bland mall. You enter the mall and see that half of the stores in the mall are actually closed. It looks abandoned. As you explore the mall, you come into the first of the several stores you were instructed to visit, a clothing store named Jill's. You meet a sassy clerk named Cool Clerk. You talk a bit and return your items before leaving. The gameplay itself in this game is nothing really special. It's a walking sim. The beauty in this game is in the characters and dialogue and in the environment. As you continue exploring the mall, you meet new characters that you can interact with and talk with. That's also one thing I appreciate in this game. The characters are actually interesting and funny, each having their own quirk. You can inspect almost everything that is around you. Your character will have something to say about anything around you. Signs, items, characters, basically everything. While I was on the second floor of the mall exploring, I was looking through the cinema security gate and noticed a pair of eyes looking back at me. It was really creepy as it didn't move, it just stared back at me. It left me with an uneasy feeling for the rest of the playthrough. After you're done returning everything you needed and finished exploring the mall, you reach the final store before leaving, named Saul's. It's a department store that has basically nothing except some mac and cheese, which conveniently is the thing that you came for. You end up buying not only the mac and cheese, but also a cardboard cutout of Brandon Fraser. Yeah, just allow it. That's why I love this game. It has these funny moments and dialogues between characters that makes this more than just a walking sim. As you finish paying, the whole mall suddenly goes dark. Everything around you is pitch black, except the exit door that is lit up with a red glow. This is the only way, as the security gate to Saul's is also closed. Through the security gate, we can see many pairs of eyes staring back at us, reminding us that something is not quite right. As we enter through the exit door, we enter a dark and narrow hallway. We can only see around a few feet in front of us. We walk through the hallway until we hear something start running behind us. I kept running as fast as I could as I was getting ready for a jump scare. However, we are stopped by the Saul's clerk. For some reason, she was running full speed after a child in a dark hallway. We talk with her and she says that she was leaving the mall to go home. We walk outside with her and the game ends. This game was around a half hour to beat if you explore everything, but I really enjoyed it. I always felt like something was off or that someone was always following me. Driving Home follows a man that is driving home when suddenly he runs out of gas in the middle of the road. It's also important to mention we're in the middle of the night. As we step out of the car, we try to call someone, but there is no signal. Our only option is to try to go find any help possible. We walk down the road until we spot a house. We walk up to the seemingly normal house and knock on the door. No response. We go behind the house and find the back door open. Strange. We enter the house, but it seems barren. We try to use the home phone, but it doesn't seem to work. The house seems normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Walking around the house is really unsettling, as every turn you face the risk of someone popping out, and every room you enter you face the risk of being trapped. The idea of traversing narrow corridors and small rooms in a horror game is one of the scariest things a horror game can do. We decide to check the garage because that's the best chance to find some fuel. We open the garage and find cut up fucking bodies of people in some kind of a pentagram. Oh, but look, there's a gas can. That's nice. We take the can and fucking book it to our car. The whole way back to the car, I was moonwalking as I was scared to be chased. You fill up your car and drive away. You keep driving and think that all is well. Not really. You hear a voice behind you and some kind of masked killer jump scares you. To be honest, it's a pretty shitty jump scare because the guy just sits there and looks at you. Overall, I like this game and I really like the garage reveal, but the jump scare could have been better. The last game that I will be talking about is called The House. You were invited by your friend Ashley to spend the weekend at a house away from the city with two guys named Brian and Scott. You pull up to the old house and get settled. You slowly start exploring the house and start to find clues that something is not right. The biggest red flag is in the basement, where there is a torture chamber. It has notes from a military vet about how he tortured people and how it was their fate and destiny. Basically, every mentally deranged killer's motive. You run out of the room to tell your friends what happened when you're scared by Scott on the stairs. This is the only jump scare in the game, and I nearly shit my pants when this happened. We tell our friends what we saw, but everyone just brushes it off. We go back inside to take our allergy meds and we accidentally fall asleep. A couple hours later, we awake to the scream of someone coming from the basement. We rush down where we find Ashley butchered, hanging from the ceiling. We quickly run upstairs where we are cornered by the killer. Turns out it's just Scott playing a prank on us. We ask him if Ashley was in on it, but he doesn't understand what are we talking about. He goes downstairs to see what we're talking about, and we hear the shrieks of him getting murdered. Now we know that something is wrong. All of the doors in the house have been locked. I don't know how, but they just are, except one door on the second floor. We open the door and find some kind of parasite mutant of Brian that is built out of human parts. Before he can do anything, we run out of the room into another room that has a window. Before the parasite can catch us, we jump out of the second story window. We run to the car, but it gets swallowed by the earth. We start running, but soon see the fucking house grow spider legs and start chasing us. We manage to flag down a plumbing car and escape. That's the end. There is more lore to the story after the game, like explaining what happened to everyone in this game and that there wasn't even a house when they went. It was demolished. I really enjoyed this game, as I was thinking that this will be another typical 80s slasher type game similar to Puppet Combo's Murder House, but it turned out to be way more. This game is actually extremely similar to Puppet Combo's works, as it has the same visual style, controls, movement, and even character design. Overall, I really enjoyed this game and would definitely recommend you to play it. Even though all of these games were really short, I enjoyed every single one's unique approach to horror. I will be leaving all of the links to each game in the description if you want to check them out. They are free to play, so please check them out. Thank you for watching today's video.